So viewers, today we travel all the way to Masairad for this other episode of the Regent. Masairad at a place called Empakasi off Kitigera, where we meet Reverend Jonathan OleLila, one of the few retired ministers of the PCA from the Maasai community. So welcome to this very beautiful home and a place that looks like a retreat center where one can come and retreat, a prayer center, a very nice place. So karibuni sana. Mchungaji. Yes. Bwana asifiwe sana. How are you?
Fine, fine.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
You have a very nice place and a home.
Thank you.
Yes. Asante kwa kutukaribisha hapa.
Welcome.
Tukuje na tufanye hii kazi. Yes. Reverend Jonathan OleLila, could you please say hi to the viewers and introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. I am Jonathan OleLila, a retired Presbyterian church minister, having served 40 years in the ministry. And I'm happy that I have retired honorably.
Wow, 40 years.
40 years.
Wow, you don't look that to have served that much, but 40 years is a long time.
Yeah,
So-
because maybe I started as an itinerant evangelist. I was a school teacher for 16 years before joining the ministry. So after moving out from teaching, I joined the ministry.
Yes.
But it is Reverend Pulei who saw me as a teacher. Every time I'm taken to a new school, I start a church, and he asks me to join the ministry because
Yeah, that's
there is a potential in me
Okay.
that he was seeing. Therefore, I started several churches, and he begged me for several. But I liked teaching. Asked me to change my career and become a church minister.
Okay.
Otherwise, I was an eternal evangelist, meaning I was just a freelance evangelist. And even I attended this big meeting in West Amsterdam by Billy Graham.
Okay.
We were recognized as eternal evangelists.
Okay. What year was that?
That was 1980. No, I started in 1970, 79, but we went to Amsterdam, I think, 1986. Yeah, I was still in college.
Okay.
I was still in Orero.
Yeah.
But I had already had that appointment before I joined, so I asked for permission to attend.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that was an experience. And now, you say the Reverend Purei asked you to join the ministry. So, how about the call? Because we always talk about the call.
Yes. Since I had that call to minister to others, ministering to the children, and starting churches, it means that I already feel that I've been called, but I didn't want to leave teaching. So he had to convince me the reason why I should leave teaching, and I'm still serving the Lord as a teacher.
Okay.
But by the end of the day, I had to go to college. He told me, you will serve better in full-time ministry than as an eternal evangelist.
So how did you find the transition from teaching to full-time ministry?
Not very different, because I thought teaching is teaching children and teaching adults.
Yes.
Still teaching, so maybe I'm more than I'm more of a teacher even in the field,
even in the ministry.
Yeah.
So what are some of the places that you served during your active ministry, presbyteries and parishes?
After college, I went to Mutumo Presbytery. 1988, I served in Narumoro Parish. And I served there for, I think, a year, only a year, and I was a presbytery clerk. I was ordained in September and October. I was licensed in September, October was the ordination. And immediately I was moved to Laikipia Presbytery after the Njoya case.
Okay.
The famous Njoya case.
Giagatika.
Yeah, I was a Presbytery clerk, and it seems like they didn't like what we did with Njoya. We had returned him back to the ministry.
Yes.
And I was a Presbytery clerk. And therefore, after that case, I was transferred to Dodol. But Laikipia said no. They posted me at Oljororok Parish. So I landed in Nyahururu Parish, subdivided in Nyahururu Parish, and then I landed in a new parish called Oljororok. I was the first minister, Oljororok Parish. So from Narumoro Parish, 21 congregations, to Oljororok, another 20 congregations, very large parishes.
Okay.
And then from Oljororok Parish, I was transferred to Narok in Limuru Presbytery. I served there for another 3 years. Then again, I moved to Kajiado. I served for another 3 years in Kajiado Outreach. And from there, they took me back to Nairobi. Now I was serving at, it was an outreach by then. It was not even Nairobi North Presbytery, it was Nairobi Presbytery. And then I served in Kahawa Outreach. Then from Kahawa Outreach, I was transferred to Dr. Ada.
Okay.
Dr. Ada, I was asked to go there because they had a problem. And I served there also for about two years. When I finished the problem they had, I said no. My head needs some rest. It was a heavy burden. After serving, I had to try and save the whole situation and then subdivide the parish. And after that, I left Dr. Ada. When Dr. Ada becomes a single congregation parish, and the others were subdivided into parish. So after that, again, they returned me back to Nairobi. That's where when I landed at it was by then, what did you call it? By then it was called, what do we call it? The name is going on.
In which presbytery?
It's still in Nairobi North. Now I came in, it's now Nairobi North Presbytery. Mokinye, but there is this, it was the larger parish called, how do you call it? No, not Kidurai. Kidurai, it consisted of all those in Kidurai, Kawashukari, and all of them, Baka, what do you call
farmers.
Yeah? The whole of that area, where you call it Nairobi North.
Oh, okay.
Almost the whole of Nairobi North was one parish. But I subdivided again that one into 4 parishes.
Yes.
And then I was left in Mokinye Parish. Now from Mokinye Parish, that's when I left, I was transferred to Ngong. It is in Ngong that I stayed for 10 years.
Okay.
I stayed there for 10 years because it was I asked them to allow me to serve Ngong because they are the ones who ordained me an elder. And after serving as an elder, and they are the ones who sent me to college as a minister. So I wanted to finish with Ngong Parish. At least to say thank you, because having served the church and now about to retire, I was now supposed to retire at home. It is still my home presbytery, although here is Kajiado Presbytery, but I opted to remain in Ngong Presbytery. That's when I retired in 2018.
You have mentioned 2 particular incidents or issues that you were involved in handling, one of which you have said, the Joya case, which came up when Tumotomo Presbytery decided to reinstate him into ministry.
Yes.
But there is a case you have mentioned about Dr. Ada, which many of us may not be familiar about.
Mhm.
What was happening in Dr. Ada and how did you manage? Because I know it was a difficult case.
Dr. Ada, I was sent there particularly because there was a big internal problem, challenge between elders, and there were like two groups fighting in the church, and therefore the head office asked me to go, and I told them, why should you send me to such a place? They told we prayed. And we, Jesse come out told me, we had prayed, and we were shown that it's only you who can do it. He told me, how? So in fact, there was a big case between me and them, and then even my presbytery, Nairobi Presbytery, said, we don't want him to leave. And they gave me a letter to remain in Nairobi. But after they gave me that letter, I thought I was rebelling. Maybe this could be the voice of God. So I decided, I went to Catalonia, prayed for a week. And then the voice of God told me, you better go. The best thing to do is pack and go. So from Catalonia, I came to head office. I told them, well, I want to go. I am ready to go. I want to go and serve God. I feel that it is really God calling me to go and settle the issues in Dr. Ada. So since you have prayed, I was talking with Jessica Mau, since you have prayed, then therefore pray, because you know where I'm going. It's a big issue, a big problem. And then Nairobi was up in arms again, because why why that change of heart again? I told them I prayed, and I have to go. I have to obey the voice of God, although I don't like it personally. I don't want to go, but since it is the voice of God telling me to go, just allow me to go. So they were talking with the head office, and they were asked, will you please speak to Reverend Lila? He's the one who said he's ready to go. So I moved there, the year 2000. The church was burning because there was a big problem in the parish. The only congregation, the only service which was functioning well was the youth service. The youth were very good. The youth service, you would finish the service, it was good, but come second service, chaos. The elders are in two big groups, so they were fighting. But the presbytery is also, I think they added the fire to the same, because they were siding one side of the elders, and they wanted to return some elders back to, some were to be deposed, others, I'm told, return these ones to the ministry, and this one you are deposed by the presbytery. But I told them, well, I don't know how, but the presbytery had passed that we should do it that way. But when the presbytery had finished saying so, and I went back to the church, that following Sunday, I was shocked, because the elders, one group of elders knew, I don't know how they knew the secret of the presbytery meeting. They were lining up between the presbytery office, the vestry, and the church door, and they were lining up, ready to fight those that are going to be reinstated. And somebody told me, Mchungaji, please just go outside before you go to the church and see what is happening. I told him, what is happening? The other group of elders are ready to fight. Each one has an elder. They will fight as you move out from the vestry to the church. Is that so? Yes. I told him, I'm not going outside. What I'll do, I was not even doing that particular thing this Sunday, because I don't even know anything, and nobody has announced. So how they got the the wind, I don't understand. So I just told the elders in the, because those are in the vestry, knew that they are coming because they will be reinstated. But I told them, you move out and go and sit where you've been sitting. You know, they were told not to work. They were sitting in the congregation. They were not even doing anything in the district. I had only 3 elders to serve with. The presbyter gave me elders from other parishes.
Yes.
All the elders in Dr. Ada were all suspended, but now I have to reinstate half of them and half
Be left.
be left. That's where the whole problem began. I don't know the genesis of the whole problem, but it's a problem I don't understand in some of the churches in Rift Valley, because the elders, there are elders from Nyeri, the Kiambu, and they seems to be ganging up in groups from Kiambu, from Moranga. In fact, you will find even churches called Mokinye. And the Mokinye would mean Moranga, Nyeri, Kiambu.
Yes.
So they started these congregations like they belong to a particular area. And in that case, then it belongs to them. I think this is the genesis of all those divisions. So when I came in, I told them, I don't come from Moranga, don't come from Nyeri or Kiambu.
Yes.
So I don't belong to any of your groups.
Yeah.
And as a Maasai, I don't even know why you people are fighting, because vita niliacha kitambo. Niliweka rungu chini. Sasa mimi nashangaa. Watu hawajapata hata kubeba rungu. Wanapigana. So I told them we better grow up and stop fighting. So I told them to move back to the church, and there is nothing, if you think that I'm going to reinstate anybody, no, please go back. Go back to the church. I'm not doing anything like that. And so those ones who are ganging up outside also had to move away, because there's nothing to fight.
Yeah.
So I told them I have no one to reinstate. And I don't even know where you got that information. I went to the church, I had those 3 elders, I told them I have only 3 elders to work with. I don't recognize the rest of you. So I played that kind of game with them until the next presbytery. I did not ordain anybody, I did not reinstate anybody, and I did not dismiss anybody. So I remained until the next presbytery meeting. And then when I went back to the presbytery meeting, I told them, unless you presbytery come and do what you ask me to do, I fear blood will be spilled here. Because people were telling me, you see, watu wamebeba machupa, amefuja chupa, ameweka mfuko. Mtu amebeba nyaunyo, mtu amebeba roho yorajora. And I told them I am not ready to see blood being spilled.
Yes.
And I don't see a good and a bad elder. To me, they are all the same. The ones you are telling me to reinstate and those that you are telling me they don't deserve, to me, they are all the same. Having met them all, I know they are the same.
Oh, yes.
So I urged the presbytery, please, instead of taking this group and leaving this group, give me all of them.
Okay.
Give me back all the elders, let me try to work with all of them, then I'll bring each case individually.
Yes.
If an elder has a problem, I'll bring as an individual, not as a group. They said, okay, if that you think is that, because I told them, unless you come and do it yourself, I'm not ready to, to get into that trouble.
Wow, wow. Okay, now, maybe you don't know, but before you came, the appointment committee that posted you to Nakuru Presbytery is the one that transferred me from Nakuru. And I was the clerk of the presbytery, so I can tell you the genesis, maybe outside of this. But now, OleLila, I know there is, sometimes back, there was a a defection of a group of Maasai ministers from the PCA and started their own church. And you as a Maasai minister who was a senior minister by then, how did you handle the situation?
Well, it was difficult because they wanted to convince us that it is for the good of the Maasai people. You see, they think PCA is a Kikuyu church, and we will not go anywhere with the Kikuyu church. They only think about themselves, and they don't think about the other tribes. So that was Baringoi's mentality. And because Baringoi had remained in Ewaso for a very long time, he's the one who, when he was told to transfer to another place, he refused. And he was telling us that it's time for us to move out of PCA. I sat with him for almost 2.5 hours, if not 3, discussing the issue, and I told him that's not the way to go. First, how many years do you still have to serve even before you retire? If we go out, this church is 100 years old, and it is still struggling. Tell me, you want us to go and start, and you are retiring. Before you find roots, before this church gets roots, the Maasai church you are talking about, you are retired, and you leave these people hanging. It is not wise. So I told him, that's not the solution. The best thing is for us to find a solution within. But it was adamant. And he thought, because he had so many friends now in the US, many donors, he thought maybe he's okay. But I told him all these donors are Presbyterians in the US. So they are not moving away with you. Don't cheat yourself. And that's exactly what happened. He moved with Baringoi moved away with Samuel Kishoyan and Etienne. Those, I think, were the only 3 ministers. All the rest of us refused. We said, no, it's not wise. It is not, it's not even good for the church. And for sure, even that church is not picking up. Because you can't take away fish from somebody's basket and say they belong to you. So I told him, if you want to start a church, move out of PCA, go and start afresh. Start your own church without interfering with the PCA church. He said, but it was me who did this. I told him, you are being paid by the PCA to serve. So leave the church, go and start afresh. But he didn't do that. He took away the congregations, he removed the plagues, and changed all the buildings into. I was transferred to Ngong by then. Then I told him we wanted to go to court, but I told people this person has already engineered the members. We will fight a losing battle, and we are not interested in the buildings. The buildings are not a church. The church are the people, and these are the people that have already been spoiled by his campaign. So let us leave Baringoi alone and start over. So we started the outreach all over again, and it is even now bigger than what he took away, because he was saying that the PCA is dead. But I told him, how do you bury something that is alive? It will resurrect. You cannot bury something alive. So that's how they went. Now they are even retired ministers. I don't know. Yeah, all the people they have left are just church elders who have not been trained by anybody. Not training. So church elders turned into ministers. That church is very weak. Very weak. No. No roots, no foundation.
I've not heard anything about them after they left, so for a long time. Now, you are a retired minister. How long have you been retired?
From 2018, end of 2018. How many years are those now?
Yeah, it's about 5 years.
This is the 5th year, is
This
it?
is the 5th year.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you prepare yourself for retirement so that you can come to where you are today?
Well, I think retirement needs somebody to start very early. You start very early. I discovered that it is a huge problem if I will retire and have no home. In fact, we decided with my wife not to, we tried to move with the children to the ministry, and we discovered that it is like closing this home and then go to the ministry. I told her no. Even these children changing schools every 1 year, it's not good for them. So you remain. It was me who was called. Let me go and serve until the end, and I'll still find some place called home. So it's good to start early to plan for your future, because if you close your home and go for the ministry, where will you go back to?
Yes.
So my wife has done a lot, because she was the one maintaining the home, taking care of the cows, the goats. She was managing the home alone. So I started slowly. I built a small plot for income generation. Now I have a plot which I earn something, because without it now, no salary, and it means so many people will find themselves in a very awkward situation if they don't plan for their future.
So what do you exactly do in terms of income?
Now,
Yes.
I started building up an income generating plot, rental houses.
Oh, rental houses.
In Kitengela, I have a plot that gives me some income. I have a few cows here and there, and although Kiangazi did as bad, and almost more than half of the cows died last drought. I also bought this tractor. I do help other people plow their lands. I'm now thinking of getting other machineries, because I have a lot of interest in grass, hay. So I do have, I do hay, and sometimes I sell it, and it's an income. So I see grass is, sometimes it just grows when there is a good rain, and then like last time I had more than 4,500 bales. But because of the drought this year, I got only 1,500 bales in the store.
Okay.
So
now you have been a minister, very busy minister in busy parishes, waking up every day to go and meet the needs of the people. Now that you have returned for the last 5 years, what do you do on a daily basis when you wake up?
I have the cows to take care of. I have this tractor that I can use it, and maybe I have a young man we can go plowing here and there. But basically, I'm looking after my cows and goats at home. So, and my presbytery is also keeping me busy. In fact, for almost a year, they had taken me back to Wasu.
Okay.
And most of the Sundays are also still I'm being used by many parishes calling me. I was called by St. Andrews, Kajiado, Mukinye, the places that I've been serving. They still call me, but it is tedious.
So now it seems like you are as busy as you were when you were a minister, transitioning from ministry to community leadership.
Yeah, because I'm happy. I decided not to study Bible only. When I took a degree in development studies, it was partly community development and development study with the University of South Africa. So that's where I gained that knowledge, and I found that I will be useful with the community when I retire. and therefore I have some knowledge to use now in my retirement as a retired minister, because I will be useful with the community, and I'm sure the community needs me. We have a water project that they have made me a patron, and that piece of land that we are following up. So I'm busy with the community. I'm busy with my own things here and there. And in retirement, if you come and sleep, it is dangerous. It is dangerous. But I liked what I studied in South Africa. Practical. They teach you to do practical. In fact, the shopping mall I built at Dr. Ada was part of what I learned in the University of South Africa, the UNISA.
Okay.
So it took me 3 years trying to fight with them to accept that we do a project on an empty land that has been there empty for so long.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, and thank you for all the things that you have shared with us. Please take a moment and speak to the active ministers in terms of preparing for retirement and working relationships with others.
Thank you. I think I would urge every minister to plan as early as possible. The best thing you can do is plan for your retirement. Don't just wait until you retire. And even learn before you retire. Maybe you will not have a salary. In fact, I did something peculiar when I was retiring. I said I will give 3 months salary to my parish. The last 3 months I did not earn any salary because I wanted to learn how to stay without a salary, and I'm still working. So I donated my 3 months salary to them, said it's my thank you gift to you, and I'm ready to move out. So I served for 3 months, the last 3 months without a salary. So it's good to plan and see how you are going to survive without a salary. If you are used to getting money at the end of the month, and then one day you wake up no money, it's bad, and it is a shock.
Yes.
So I think having planned to get my own income generating project has helped me a lot, because I have my own money. I earn more than what the church was paying me.
Yes.
Because of the income I get from that the rental houses. Yeah. So if they plan, I'm sure they will be comfortable, and you will not even wish to be. I was told to go to Arusha missionary. I told them, let me, now this home is an empty nest, the children are out, so I don't want to move away again to a very far place. I'd rather remain back home here. I have a few cows to take care of, and my wife is here. She cannot be here all alone. It's not wise. But when they told me to go to Wazo, I told them, it's okay, I'll be going there. I will not stay at Wazo, I'll be going and coming back. So if you plan, well, you will enjoy your retirement. If you don't plan, some people will die quickly. Yeah, because of the frustration and not knowing what to do. But if you come and you know what to do, you'll be okay.
Okay. Now, thank you so much for your time and for the discussions and the sharings that you have given unto us, the words of wisdom, and in terms of preparing those of us that are in active ministry to prepare for retirement, because retirement will definitely come. So thanks for your time, and may the Lord bless you and be with you in your retirement, so that when you come here in this beautiful home, this should be a retreat area where we retreat and come and pray, because it's a very nice place. So viewers, thank you for listening to Reverend Jonathan OleLila. See you in the next episode of the Regents, and continue interacting with us in your comments so that we can continue doing this. God bless you. See you next week.